welcome to Trek in the Valley, episode 10.
We are.
Yep, I am Adam Ordall Quinnell, and I'm here with my co-host.
Hello, my name is Al Hirt here.
I'm here with Al in Van Nuys, California. We're recording an episode of our Star Trek, the original series, rewatch, recap, whatever the fuck you want to call it, podcast. We're two fellas learning how to make a podcast by talking about Star Trek, and I just don't think there's a better motivation to do that. And we're watching if you've been listening to this already, great. Thank you. We are recording these episodes far in advance, and we might take a little break from recording after this one to start releasing them.
Oh, yeah, we got to structure them out.
Yeah, to you all, it's going to be seamless because we're going to be excellent professionals by then in 10 weeks. But we're recording this on, today's date is October 2nd, so the beginning of spooky season, as they say in the suburbs. And we're recording it in the first, our mini heat wave. We had a break. It's very nice out today. It's like 75 degrees,
high 80s.
Yep, I love it. And we had a bit of a heat wave. And so today, and also just a quick thing, if you want to follow an account, because we don't have a Twitter account yet, probably by this time even for the show. But my Twitter, if you need any information regarding the show, is just my name, Adam Quinnell, at Twitter, and that's ADAMQUESNELL. That's where I'm going to be posting about the show until we have like an official Twitter account or a website.
Yeah, I'm really just using like my personal Twitter, I guess.
10 years, yeah, 10 episodes in, and I never mentioned where people could find the show online. And we were just like, hey, you found it.
Congrats, we're secrets.
We're talking to you. You figured it out. I don't know why we would give a shit, tell you, but and then I'll mention it at the end as well. Hold on. All right, so today we are talking about so far one of my favorite episodes.
This has been a really good one, though.
It's one of my
popped out.
Even because as you know from listening to it, if you're new to the podcast, Al and I both got into Star Trek around with Next Generation, but he was watching it 15 or 20 years after it came out. Next Generation. And I watched it when it was released at the time. So we're different generations of Star Trek, of casual Star Trek fans. And during COVID, I on Paramount Plus, I watched some of the remasters. And I thought, hey, we should do a podcast because these remasters are good to watch. I never gave a shit about the original series because I always thought it looked kind of hokey. It sounded kind of cheesy.
It's the writing, man. Yeah,
but the remasters take away a lot of that and just really let the story and the acting shine and the set design and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a great experience. So today we're talking about episode 10 of Star Trek, the original series. The episode is titled The Corbomite Maneuver. And you don't find out why until like the very end of the episode. I love it.
Very clever.
And it's like an Act 3 reveal. This episode aired on November 10th, 1966. Today's date, like I said, October 2nd, 2022. One last little bit of business. This is the synopsis from Paramount Plus. While exploring an uncharted area of space, the Enterprise is outmatched and taken in tow by a massive spherical spaceship. And I should mention that I said 20 episodes before the Chekhov check-in last time. I said 20 episodes. It's actually 20 episodes now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, people have been freaking out for the last week. Like mad. I bet I've gotten so many tweets in the last week, 10 weeks from now, about people who are like, fuck you, it's actually 19 episodes until Chekhov's wigs and accent, you pieces of shit. In Van Nuys. All right, so this is a fantastic episode. The synopsis says it all. I'm going to try and just do a very quick synopsis without revealing the end. You've all seen it, but we want to kind of feel it and talk about it as we just watched it, because this is the first time Al's seen the episode.
Yeah, completely fresh.
This is one of the few episodes that I had seen and remembered seeing before my COVID rewatch started, because the guest star at the end is one of my favorite genre guest stars of all time, and it's fantastic. So the Enterprise is out either in the neutral zone or on the edge of the neutral zone. They run into a buoy, which is essentially a spinning cube, and we'll talk about the effects and shit when we're done with the synopsis. But they run into a spinning cube. The spinning cube is emitting radiation. They can't get away from the cube. The cube gets destroyed. A massive ship that's over a mile wide shows up, holds the Enterprise in a tractor beam, shuts down their systems. The alien inside says, "Hey, we're gonna," and Kirk is like, "We didn't know it was a buoy for safety. It was emitting radiation. We had to get away." And Baylock, the alien that's running this massive ship that's got the Enterprise in a tractor beam, he says, "Hey, fuck you. We're gonna blow you up in 10 Earth minutes because you're violent. You're obviously from a violent species." And then they do the crew does some shit that keeps them from getting blown up, and the alien of the First Federation says, "Hey, we're gonna tow your ship to a planet where you can survive. We're gonna dump you out like the bottom of a Raisinets box on the planet, and we're gonna blow up your fucking ship." And then they send a little shuttle out to tow the ship away. It's one of my best recaps ever. They send a little shuttle out to tow the Enterprise away. The Enterprise ends up disabling the shuttle by trying to get away. And Kirk, instead of letting the shuttle just go to hell, goes out and saves Baylock in the shuttle. They realize that this was all kind of a test to see if they were a worthy race to be contacted by this First Federation. And ta-da, best recap so far of the series.
Pretty quick.
2 minutes. It doesn't get into Bailey or any of that. That's the kind of shit we're going to discuss now. I'm going to put IMDb up on the big screen. Now, we don't have
Let's see, though. What stuck out to you? We'll start there.
Well, the big thing that I love about this episode is Clint Howard at the end. But I want to discuss that as its own chunk later.
Okay, gotcha.
But I love Bailey's arc. So Bailey...
It's short, but it is pretty solid.
He's been in it before. Short, he's in the whole fucking episode. So he
No, like in terms of the series, like it just happens in an episode.
Exactly. And I don't know if he comes back. So Dave Bailey is the navigator. And basically the backstory that we get in a conversation, do you remember the backstory for Bailey, why he's there? Bones is talking to Kirk. So Bones at some point says, "Hey, you promoted him because Bailey's got problems."
Like he's nervous that he promoted him too soon.
Because for some reason, Kirk had an eye out for this Bailey character, promoted him possibly too soon. Bailey causes all kinds of problems. This guy, though, this actor, this Anthony D. Cale, who played Bailey, I'm certain we've seen him in previous episodes on the bridge.
What, just in passing?
He's been on the bridge. I think he's been the navigator before this episode. So, let's find out. We can find out. We're clicking on his IMDb right now.
We'll see.
It's going to say how many episodes of Star Trek EOS he has been in. Let's see here. Star Trek, the original series. This guy is still acting.
Jeez.
Here we go. Star Trek, the original series. Dave Bailey. Oh, I was fucking wrong. I guess he was only in this one episode.
I love how they do the thick backstory too, but just for 2 seconds.
Yes. And yeah, exactly. And I really want to write a Lower Decks spec script about like they run into Bailey, who's been with Baylock the whole time.
Oh yeah, that's right. He never comes back.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, what I love about it is Bailey is this nervous Nelly on the bridge. He's the navigator, which Bones says is a very stressful position. And
no idea where that comes from.
He starts panicking immediately the second this cube, they can't get away from it. Like, and Kirk is like, "Hey, chill out, man. Space is unknown. We run into shit." And Bailey's just shitting his pants, sweating, freaking out.
Yeah, I was thinking like, it was like, okay, it's one of two things. Either one, he's just like a big wuss and it's just like completely lost it, or two, like he's on to something, or my sinister had always thinks like, oh, he's up to something, or he knows that something bad's gonna happen, or
Yeah,
that he's already in communication with it.
he's either just not fit for the chair, kind of got bad nerves, or he knows that something shitty is going to happen.
Yeah, but
and he's not
yeah.
wrong. But his hold on, got a cough. All right. And so he know like he's not wrong because crazy shit does happen.
Yeah, of course.
But
it's a hell ship.
So yeah, that's Al's through line for it's like these people are in hell on this ship because they're some of the first explorers. You haven't watched Enterprise though, so you don't even know. That's the real hell ship. This is like the the purgatory ship.
True, but their lives are always in danger.
Enterprise is basically like they throw a submarine into space with a warp engine on it, and it's so many problems, but it's still fun to watch. One of the worst finales in the history of television, but it's like it's a good show to watch. And there are Trek fans. If we haven't offended every Trek fan by now that listened to a couple episodes, you can come after me for liking Enterprise for the most part. It's fine. Bakula's good. He's a bad captain, but they figure it out. And they do Trip dirty. But some of the things. So Bailey's arc is great. He goes from coward to wants to stay with Baylock as an exchange student.
I feel like he's never meant to be like a navigator.
Never meant to be in Starfleet. He should just be out there hanging out doing shit.
Being foreign exchange.
Exactly. He should go learn about alien races by just chilling out and not having to have any pressure on him for even a minute.
And it's funny too. I mean, looking back now, when he back talked to Spock, I think it was just because of arrogance. Because you were initially thinking like, oh, he hates him because he's Vulcan.
Yeah, I thought maybe like, everybody's. Yeah,
I think it's just because everyone's an asshole on the ship too, though.
So they have been. So basically,
Bones is an asshole.
Bailey raises his voice on the bridge, and Spock is like, "Hey, don't raise your voice on the bridge." And then later, Bailey gets in a snide comment. He's like, "Well, I've got the reason I have a little human thing called an adrenal gland, so I can't really control my voice under pressure like that." And Spock says, "Oh, that sounds inconvenient. You should think about having it removed." Oh, air horn sound, sick Spock burn. And Sulu says, "Hey, if you cross brains with Spock, you're always going to get cut." First off, nobody's ever said cross brain. Nobody has ever said, that's not a saying.
Yeah, I always thought he was going to say cross swords because he's a fencer, That
exactly,
would be cool.
but brains
is it was the 60s, maybe. Maybe that was a common phrase.
There's no way we could ever find out.
We don't have anybody from the 60s.
Bailey, and there's no internet on the world. So Bailey rules. His arc is great. He starts out all scared. I love how when Baylock gives them 10 minutes before he's going to destroy the ship, Bailey goes crazy and gets escorted off the bridge at minute 7.5. He's back on the bridge when there's 2 minutes left. Yeah. So there's 5 minutes that Bailey gets to go cool off in his quarters, and then he comes back. And the whole thing about Bailey, how Bones is looking out for him, and he thinks Kirk's pushing him too hard.
Comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's really strange that like we're suddenly getting Bones caring about a specific crew member in that type of way.
Maybe they had like intentions to build it or something, but then it's like, I don't know, maybe it wasn't popular to connect episodes, right?
Not really, no. It was pretty episodic. Right. They were kind of freestanding science fiction stories still at this point. But we get into a little bit more of that next week when we talk about next week's episodes. But yeah, so it was just interesting to me that they spend a lot of time building like this case for Bailey being and in the end he ends up being a representative of humankind to the First Federation,
which is very ironic.
Well, because that's Baylock even says, "So you must be the best of humanity," and he's like, "Nah, I'm gonna fuck shit up, but I'll learn." And Kirk is like, "And won't you learn more about humanity from a fuck up than you would from like the best of us anyway?" And so he goes and. So they really go out of their way to make the case for Bailey as like Not because he
Yeah,
doesn't.
I
He's
don't know.
because he starts out frail, like human beings can be at
Right.
their worst. He comes around and
Aggressive.
he also is he wants to blow them up. That's his. He just constantly
Right.
says he wants to. He assumes Kirk is going to give them the order to blow them up at one point, and Kirk gets mad. Like, don't assume I'm going to fucking blow something up, motherfucker. You listen to me. He talks back to everybody, but in the end,
Yeah.
he comes around and is respectful, and he learns about an alien race. And I think that's what they're trying to show. He is representative of humanity, and he represents our ability to change,
Right.
our ability to grow. But they do it in such a compressed amount of time that it's really funny.
fast.
It's literally 5 minutes because the
Right.
countdown from 7 minutes to 2 minutes, and he comes back. One thing that I want to make sure that I mention just about how this episode looks. First off, as usual, the remaster looked great.
Yeah.
But I love how, because the buoy that they encounter is a spinning cube. It's just it looks like a solved Rubik's cube. It's just spinning around. It has like it's primary colors on each
it's primary
side.
colors.
And whenever they show the Enterprise bridge, they've got this strobing light on to simulate what they're seeing on the view screen. I love it. It's so perfect. Chef's kiss to the lighting designer on this episode of Star Trek: The Original Series in some backlot in Burbank in 1966 in the summer, producing this episode for television. Just looked so good. And you mentioned something about the bridge designs on this one.
Oh yeah, definitely. What I was saying before was, or what I was saying when we were watching it, on their monitors, right? They had the design that they had to look at galaxies and stuff, but obviously they couldn't create individual monitors with galaxies on them, right?
Al is talking about the monitors at the top of the Enterprise backdrop. Yeah, above everybody's head. And they want to make it look like it's got like nebulas and shit on it.
Exactly. But then instead of using images of straight nebulas, they would just take a beam of colored light and point it in a corner at a strange angle, so it kind of looked like a nebula.
Yeah.
And it's just so like, good. Wow, they're really saving a lot of money, but then creating that same effect because, like, you know, it doesn't matter because the story's so good, but just those little touches of the noise and the lights and it all wraps together really well.
I just love how the remastering of this show brings out the color of the design, how everything just pops. Because I have I have watched some YouTube comparisons, and if you out there want to go down a fucking rabbit hole, like there's a ton of YouTube comparison videos comparing the remaster to what was aired in the 60s, and it's bonkers. But just how like clear everybody's eyes are. There's some excellent dramatic close-ups of Kirk, because Kirk Kirk is, you know, they're being tested. It's similar to the opening of Next Generation, the 2-part episode with the trial with Q, where he's testing, but they almost do it better in this.
A lot of things that are surprising about this episode. One is that it immediately kicks off. There's no B plot. The closest thing we get to a B plot is Bailey's Bailey's arc, right?
But really,
but it's still part of the story,
and
right?
Bailey's arc essentially mirrors the theme of the story, so it's all one thing happening in tandem.
That's what they do so well with the writing too, and like I would think what popped out to me the most was, I mean, it says in the compendium too, Spock's kind of like a paradox because he's saying, hey, don't scream on the bridge. And then he's screaming later when they're trying to get away from the, from the tow by overheating their engines.
Yes.
But it's like, it's him, I think, are fighting with his human side and his Vulcan side, because he also brings up his parents in the past tense of like comparing his father to the aliens that have them.
Such a great
his mother to his emotional side.
Yeah, so he says, you know, the alien seems logical, reminds me of my father, and Bones is like, that must have sucked shit. He's like, I feel bad for you, god damn. He said that must have sucked shit for your mom.
Yeah.
And Spock says, hey, she considered herself a lucky Earth woman, and you know he's talking about like Vulcans can lay that pipe or whatever. Like that's like the so double bizarre entendre, but it's just so funny because you know he's talking about like because she loves Sarek or whatever. It's just there's some really funny moments in a pretty serious, tense episode.
For sure.
They literally put a ticking clock on it. But so this episode has a very tense ticking clock sequence for like 10 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it also opens with shirtless Kirk doing the
right.
leg thing with his feet. Don't forget, this episode
very casual.
This episode opens with Spock on the bridge running shit, and then the cube shows up, and he's like, "What the fuck?" And then it cuts to Kirk, who's doing his quarterly physical exam. And the exercise he's doing is the one where there's like the two boxes up on the wall and he's laying on his back and he's like pushing on the boxes. And you know, there ain't nothing on the other side of those boxes. That's like a stagehand back there pushing back against them. Fucking hilarious. I love that exercise. And he's all sweaty and shirtless. And there's a great beat in this sequence because Spock issues a red alert on the bridge. The red alert light during the physical starts flashing, and Bones can see it flashing, but Kirk cannot. And Bones continues the physical anyway to get the readings that he needs from Kirk. And afterwards, Kirk is like, "You saw that fucking light flashing?" And Bones is like, "Hey man, I gotta finish your physical." Yeah. Like, it's still gonna be an emergency, dude.
He goes,
so irresponsible.
He's like, "Am I a doctor or am I a soldier?" Or something?
Yeah, am I a doctor or am I some kind of goddamn moon babysitter? He says something like a moon man babysitter.
Then he's just so snarky.
The bridge could have been on fire for all he knows. Like, Sulu could be dead with a console sticking out of the front of his fucking forehead, and he's like, "No, I got to make sure I finish the testing the captain's heart rate." Love it.
Gosh, I don't know. And then that's kind of like joked on later too. And this also feels like, I think why I like the episode is because this is the first time that the Enterprise is kind of challenged, or they're kind of stuck in a corner, you know? Because they kind of have been before, but then, you know, they seem to resolve it easier. But like, as soon as a problem hits, Kirk's like, "I need my senior staff on the bridge now," and like they all just show up. Even the second time with the countdown. The fucking the deck elevator just opens and there's Bones and
they're
Scotty.
ready to go.
They're just ready to walk in and talk.
They're in crisis mode from the jump
because it's insane.
Because this is a little cube that has stopped their ship dead in its tracks. It's a huge problem. And one thing I got to mention: the music of the cube is like this.
Oh yeah,
fantastic sound design, music design. Love it. Love it. And what I love about these old shows is that's a person, you know, that's like an actual orchestra that they get to score all this shit.
Yeah,
you know, it's not like now, like it's like a team of people with keyboards, and
plugins and all this expensive hardware.
It's just very, it's a lot of good flavor cross brains.
And then I also wanted to mention, though, is this the first time we've ever seen an alien through a viewport?
Fantastic segue, Al. That's why you are the co-host with the Mo-host in Van Nuys.
Thank you.
So they get the message from Baylock. They communicate with Baylock over the tractor beam that's holding them, which is kind of interesting. He communicates because Bailey actually finds it first. There's a signal coming back on the tractor beam, and it's Baylock communicating. And that might be a test too. Hey, can you find the transmission? You know, he's testing their technology.
Right. It's all really strange.
And so they communicate with him, but Spock eventually decodes the signal, and he gets the video of Baylock. And we see what Baylock looks like, and the puppet for Baylock is so awesome. It's like one of the best like alien puppet effects they've done so far. And that's when Baylock is like, "I am Baylock. We are going to give you 10 of your Earth minutes before we blow your ass up." And
the puppet was designed by a guy. I have a compendium here named Hua Chang. It looks really good.
Great.
And then the weird wave effect that was apparently also in Charlie X. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know which part, but it's like on the Thesians.
Yeah, when he's talking over the view screen, it wavers. And that
kind of helps with the illusion of the puppet and the
as
alien.
We find out that this is so meta because this actually is a puppet.
Exactly.
Like, that's not Baylock at all. It's Baylock's puppet that he uses because he looks like weird Clint Howard baby.
We have like 2 twists in it, right?
There's so many twists in this episode.
Yeah.
And ultimately, it's just a test of humanity's will humanity, when tested, will they help out? and Bailey just wants to blow them up the whole time. If you want if you want an insubordinate mouthing off to the senior staff, this is the episode for you.
This crew is out of control.
Yep, Picard would be fucking fuming.
That's what I'm saying. No, one of the and then a part that I laughed at too is when they're trying to outmaneuver the cube, and they're going really fast and stuff, and then he's like, "All right, fix the phasers, Bailey, fix the phasers, right?" And then they set it all up, right, and they blow it up. And you see shots of like everyone on the ship just falling over and flying everywhere. And I was like, wow, Picard would have been like, all engineer, everybody, brace for impact, go for your room, go to your rooms, buckle yourself in. Like, we're going to go do this. And Kirk's just like, shoot it.
And that's such a good scene because it's one of the times there's several beats in this episode where Bailey is called upon to take action and he totally spaces out. Yes. And Sulu just needs to reach across the console and do the shit for him. Sulu
covers him at least 2 or 3 times.
And it's so funny because Bailey has wanted to blow this cube up since the second he saw it, and then he finally gets the order, please blow up that fucking cube, and he's like, he's just like,
I think it's shock and awe, right?
He's so scared that such technology could exist that would hold them. He's what Bailey represents so much more than just, the best and the worst of humanity. He also is like the history of humanity with space travel at the same time.
He's reacting so like a normal person.
Yeah, he's so terrified, and I love it. But yeah, they're trying to break away. They're trying to get away from the cube. It's emitting radiation. They have to blow it up. So they eventually blow up the cube.
So insane though how they're just. I guess the word is a little sloppy or reckless. And then also too, what I noted was that Uhura's wearing a yellow uniform instead of a red one, but then they're still trying to figure it out. But I think it's, they'll eventually get it. And then another piece was when Kirk introduces himself and the ship, they refer to it as
United Earth vessel.
Yeah.
Or wait, United Earth spaceship. Yeah, United Earth ship. Yeah. And that was before they had
like a federal starship, right? That's
exactly
what they would have
said. That was before they figured out that it's United Starship. That's with the USS.
And there's still more questions that this show still arises, or this episode, because the what is it called? The Thesarius or whoever. They're the first
people that pay
Federation, right?
They call themselves the First Federation.
So it's like God knows what that is about.
So the Federation is just the Federation 2.
Or like another corner of the universe, maybe?
Well,
who knows?
I hope. I bet there's a lot of speculative novels out there about Baylock.
Yeah, I was going to say Baylock has a lot to do. So
I would be remiss if we talked about this whole episode without mentioning that at one point, Kirk and Bones are in Kirk's office chatting about what they're going to do about the cube. And Yeoman Rand comes in with a salad. And Kirk says, and gives it to Kirk, and Kirk says, "What is this?" And she says, "It's a dietary salad."
Dietary
salad prescribed by Bones. And Bones says, "Yeah, your weight was up a couple pounds at your physical, chunk ass. So dietary salad."
I'm not even sure what it was. Just a plate of broccoli and
lettuce.
It was just lettuce.
I mean, the fans can backtrack on me and blow it up on Reddit that I got that wrong, but I feel like it was just lettuce.
Oh, it seems so silly though. And then what was it? Rand offers Bones some, and he's like, "Oh no! I let the crew eat first."
Yeah, Kirk says, "Hey, go get some salad, some dietary salad for Bones." And Bones says, "Oh, I eat with the crew." Very, very good. There's a lot of good moments between the primary cast in this episode, and you even get Scotty in there more than he's been kind of a non-entity in a few episodes, so it's good to get him in there.
Yeah.
One thing that I think the remaster really did a good job of is the first time we see the mothership pull up. So they blow up the when I say they, the Enterprise crew, they blow up the buoy that was holding them back. That brings the mothership in, and there's a great shot. And even on the original episode, because this is one of the ones I looked up, it looks really good. But how they fucking do the transition of it expanding. It looks so good. So the whole point, it looks like a bunch of round Christmas lights in a ball.
Right.
But then it gets closer to the Enterprise, and you see the Enterprise in the foreground, and this ship pulling up to it from the background, and the Enterprise just gets tiny, and the ship is huge, and motherfucking Bailey is like, we're goddamn 30 miles away from it, and it still takes up the whole view screen or whatever the fuck, because it's so big. So then they demagnify. It's a lot of great reveals on the bridge. That all the shots of the orb ship, it's like has this eerie glow that they nail of it just hanging there in front of the ship in space. That mothership effect, all the effects in this episode stand out. Baylock, but yeah, they absolutely knock it the fuck out.
Yeah, apparently the compendium, it's made by the Howard Anderson Company, so they'd used a bunch of miniatures and composite photography to like show the scale of, they probably got a bunch of close-up shots of the actual model or the miniatures and then just stretched it out, or just swapped the footage and then made that transition. I'm sure it got more seamless with the update or the remaster, but still, it's an achievement. For the 60s, it's pretty cool.
It's an achievement for sure, because this is like 3 years before 2001.
That's right.
In 2001, they advanced a lot of the technology for practical effects like that for science fiction. One other thing I want to mention first, so that Baylock gives them 10 minutes. He's going to destroy them up because he thinks they're a savage warring race.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And Bailey loses it because he's like, "You're all just standing around waiting to die. What are you doing? Do something, Spock. Do something, Kirk." Yeah,
but then it's funny too because here we go. The whole crux of the episode. Kirk walks up to Spock and Spock's just like, "I'm afraid I have no logical conclusion." Yeah, and Spock, it feels like we are defeated as as we lost in chess, and then Kirk lights up and is like,
they do this metaphor of chess where Spock says, this would be checkmate. He's got us. There's nothing we can do. And Kirk says, "Really? That's your advice to me? There's nothing you can do?" And Spock's like, "I wish I could. What do you fucking want from me? I wish I could say something else. I want to give you better news." And then Kirk says, "Wait, not chess, poker." And we thought he was going to say checkers. And I know, right? Oh my god, not chess, checkers. We'll jump over it. We'll just leapfrog over. We'll get kinged on the other side. But so then Kirk's. Before we get to the Corbomite maneuver, I do want to say I thought it was funny when Baylock was like, "I'm sure you have some sort of fucking god or whatever that you pray to. I suggest you spend the next 10 minutes praying to your pathetic gods before we destroy your ship.
We'll give you 10 those human things you call minutes.
Those human 10 of what you might call, I'm just presuming this from your files that I have read, minutes." Because there is a...
Oh yeah, that's right. The sequence where he rips his data.
Yeah, so at one point they get so violent, the bridge crew gets so violently scanned that there's like this sound that goes off and shit's exploding because they're so aggressively being scanned. And Baylock's taking their data, and then this is where what I want you to explain this for our fans, Al. What is the Corbomite maneuver? It's the name of the episode. So they're fucked. They've got like 3 minutes.
3 minutes, yes.
And what does Kirk do? Poker, he says.
Well, yeah, it's the poker.
Chess,
yeah,
poker.
It's the whole. I think it's the chess thing that sets him off because obviously they've always played just chess, and he goes, "Yeah, poker. We'll do poker." So then this maneuver, it kind of reminded me actually of the Han Solo and the Kessel Run too, where it's kind of just like a trick of like technically it is a maneuver. Because when I was first watching the episode, I thought it was going to be like an actual like flying maneuver to avoid the cube. But so then Kirk decides to call the bluff and create the whole.
Kirk
create his whole like what is it?
So
his
you
whole
think?
Material.
Well, okay. So 1 second because we're talking over each other. So basically, Kirk's gonna bluff, but I think what you just said is interesting. You said that Kirk is calling Baylock's bluff.
I think so.
By bluffing
himself.
By bluffing himself. So you think that Kirk thinks Baylock might not gonna blow up the ship?
Right. I think a little bit. I think a little bit of him that the reason why he does it, because how could you put your entire ship in danger? That's
a great. Well, this is before Kirk's even told him about Corbomite. So that's
true.
very interesting that you would come to that conclusion. I fucking love it.
I think it's the
So
chess
Kirk
poker thing that
Kirk
gets
is like,
him.
he's
Though.
playing poker. I'm gonna play poker too. That's
Well,
awesome.
because it's like
So
they
what
seem
is it? He
so. He
bluffs.
seems calm, right? Compared to Bailey too.
Well, Kirk
which is
is-
nuts. Well,
Kirk
Kirk
is-
is the captain though. So
He's Captain Kirk.
Right.
But so what's Kirk's bluff?
Oh yeah, his bluff basically is that they have a material on board called Corbomite, and any attack that they sustain will multiply and reverse back outwards, essentially destroying their ship along with his. So if you value your pathetic thing called life, we go ahead and blow us up. And there's actually one line in particular I wrote down that I
have
love
it.
too.
I have it. So basically, Kirk tells. So it's really funny because Kirk says, "Hey, I've got to tell you." There's something that the Federation, there's something that we've kept secret that's never been stored on Earth databases on our ships. There's a substance and he calls it a substance and a mechanism.
A mechanism.
Called Corbomite. And it's basically like if you've played Final Fantasy II, Japanese Final Fantasy IV, it's just the spell reflect. It just reflects an attack.
The I'm rubber,
and
you're
so
glue.
he's saying, yeah, you're going to blow up yourself. And the line that Al is getting to is Kirk says, hey, life means nothing to us. But if you don't value your life, by all means.
No, and he says, we grow annoyed of your foolishness.
Death has little meaning to us. So if it means little to you, attack us now. We grow tired of your foolishness.
Yeah, we grow annoyed of your foolishness.
Annoyed of your foolishness. Awesome.
And it's just, I don't know, it's very Kirk-like. And everyone kind of just does a double take. Sulu's really happy.
Sulu's laughing his ass off because he gets it.
But then I feel like, I don't know, there's got to be some faith, right? Well, otherwise, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying?
It's in that big pregnant pause when Bailey comes back. So Kirk does the Corbomite maneuver,
that's right.
And then they're just gonna wait. There's 2 minutes left. Bailey comes back. Bailey says, "Hey, permission to return to my station." And Kirk looks at Bones, and Bones smiles like he's ready.
I don't know. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
but
and so 2 minutes ago, Bones was basically threatening to court-martial Kirk for mistreating Bailey and promoting him too soon, and now he's like, "All right, he can take the post." So, but they might also only be 2 minutes left of being alive, so they want to spend it on the bridge. But then the countdown runs out, and they're all just like, "What the fuck's gonna happen?"
I think though, on one hand, they let him Bailey back on board, because, I don't know, I think it's 50-50. Half of them are like, wow, we're screwed. He's going to shoot us anyways. And the other half are like, I think they're not going to shoot him, so whatever. And then I think Bones is on the end of, we're going to blow up anyways. But it's so crazy because that's the other thing, how Bones is ride or die for Bailey, because he decides to argue with Kirk on the bridge when they have 3 minutes left to deliberate.
3 minutes before they they explode.
Kirk's like, yo, we don't even have time to argue about this. If we even have time to argue about this, let me figure this out first so we can have time to argue about this.
Yep. And then Bones apologizes for that later.
But the maneuver is so clever. Again, it reminded me of the whole Kessel Run thing where it's like, he technically did something incredible. And yeah, I'm sure the Corbomite maneuver is one for the ages, right? It's in every Federation guide, I'm sure. But now it's like,
no, dude, that's not. No, he pulled that out of his ass.
No, I'm saying now because of this, they created history, right? Because that's gonna be in every book.
Yeah, you can trick. This is how you trick an alien.
It's fucking nuts, but it's classic Kirk stuff because it's of course nobody else would have thought of that, right?
Yep.
But you gotta have some faith that they're bluffing too, and I think that's the nice little reveal at the end, and why Kirk is relieved and smiling.
And they're all stoked that they didn't get blown up after the countdown is done for a minute or two and nothing happened. But that's when Baylock is like, "Fine, we're gonna go dump you out on a planet that'll support you, and then we're gonna destroy the ship." So they have cut to commercial.
Yeah.
So then they've got a little shuttle that's towing the ship to this planet. And that's when Kirk taxes their engines to get away from the shuttle and disables the shuttle. And that's when he could decide to either leave or stay to help Baylock. And they go to help Baylock.
I was thinking that they were going to help Baylock and then go back to the mothership. I think that was their logic of okay, we can use this as our ace in the sleeve to show that we as humans are compassionate. And then but you're right. I think Kirk was thinking that they were going to blow up because Spock's like, hey, so they're planning on going over to the Baylock ship, right? To help him out. And he takes Bailey and Bones.
Because he says the reason is, I'm going to bring Bones in case the alien is hurt.
Right.
And Bailey, you just got to explore the unknown, baby. Yeah. Come on.
And Spock's like, I want to check it out. He's like, no, stay here. Yeah, it could be a trap.
Yeah, and I was like, it could be a trap. Geez. They might fuck shit up. We need you on the bridge.
So yeah, that might be reason then why he probably thought they were going to blow up. But that maneuver is just so funny. But anyways, they get on the Baylock ship and we find out the puppet reveal is pretty cool.
So the what we saw as Baylock earlier is not just a puppet for the show Star Trek. It's a puppet for the being known as Baylock as well.
Exactly.
And Baylock is actually looks like a human child, and it's the character actor Ron Howard, who I believe had been in Uncle Ben at this point. Gentle Uncle Ben. That's the rice. Gentle Ben about the kid with the bear.
Oh.
And so when they see the real Baylock, it's Ron Howard's little kid body, and he's talking with an adult human voice, and it's just the fucking best effect ever. It's so perfectly synced up.
Yeah, they did a good job dubbing it.
It sounds really good. His performance is great when he laughs. The
Right.
look on his face when he laughs. And so this was all just a big test to see if humans were worth a damn and if they could be invited into the space of the First Federation. Baylock doesn't have a crew or anything. It's just him hanging out. He runs the whole ship. They have a drink. There's a funny moment where Spock and Bones and Bailey are all looking at each other like, should we drink this drink? And Baylock is like, come on. He takes a drink and is like, see? And then they all drink it and they love it. And they chit chat. And then
they immediately go to the foreign exchange thing, which is crazy.
Within a minute after this wild episode, so many things have happened. It's wrapping up. And Baylock is like, man, it gets lonely out here, you know? I mean, maybe even if I had an alien hanging out with me, learning that I could teach stuff to. And Kirk says, well, hey, we could leave one of our crew members. Bailey, do you know of anybody that would like to volunteer? And Bailey just gets a big smile on his face and says, I'd like to volunteer. For all he knows, he's signing up to be this little guy's sex slave. Yeah, he's just like, I'm going to do it.
And they just leave him.
But that's good. We've decided that's good for Bailey.
The arc, right?
He shouldn't be there. He shouldn't be on. He shouldn't be the navigator.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
He should just be smoking space herb with Baylock and testing other races.
And they just end it too with him showing his ship, and it's like a nice little bow to end on.
Yeah. So normally they end these episodes with a little moment on the bridge,
right?
But it's Baylock, Kirk, and Bones. Everything's been resolved. And Baylock is like, come on, let me show you my ship. I never have visitors. And he's just so genuinely happy to have them on the ship and checking stuff out. He's like, they go around and he's like, I'll give you a tour. And then the music starts and it shows the credits over the empty room. And just a fantastic end to a great episode.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't watched this one recently, I don't know if you're watching along with us, but get on it. It's
this episode's
good.
Solid. But what I really liked, the little detail too, is when before they beam over, Scotty's like, can you guys duck a little bit? And they just kind of
they crouch because it's going to be cramped over there. And then we find out it's because Baylock's just like a little guy. So what is there anything
plays on those reveals, you know?
Is there anything else that stands out for you that you want to mention in this episode, Al?
Really just other than the crew's recklessness and stuff, I like the pace of all these episodes, but in particular this one because they just go straight to the meat of it. He doesn't try to mess around or anything. Kirk just goes immediately to senior staff. It's a very casual opening too, which I like. And I really like this episode too because it feels like they are actually challenged until the Corbomite maneuver that he pulls. And it's just a really clever way of seeing how something would come to fruition in Federation history or whatever. Because they had the right reports on this. Because that's the other thing. Bones is just I'm going to write my report on this about Bailey, so you better answer it. He pulls that again. as they're talking, like as 3 minutes away from blowing the ship up.
Bones is a fucking narc, man.
He's reckless.
He's
a stickler about reports, and he doesn't respond to red alerts.
And he doesn't respect the captain. He looks out for the crew, which I like.
That's true.
He's on the side of the crew and their health.
That's right. That's true. It's a nice balance between him and Spock.
I think I did a good, for me, I think I kind of talked about everything while we were discussing it.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love this episode. The effects look great. Lighting design top shelf. Clint Howard, Ron Howard's brother, absolutely destroys at the end. The Baylock puppet,
really well designed.
So good.
Wat Chang, that's.
And the guy who played Bailey, who I've got up here, I didn't know which mouse was controlling which screen. Anthony D. Call, just killed it. I think I said Kale earlier, but Call, yeah, fantastic. And Dietary Salad. This episode is brought to you by Dietary Salad. And
just if it wasn't healthy enough.
Yeah, so I want to do so this is you're not going to be listening to this in October, but my recommendation so that's the end of talking about the episode. Now we always leave with like a recommendation of some media or some non-Star Trek related shit that we're experiencing now and enjoying. I just watched all of the Chucky series on Peacock because they're making a push for Halloween, and I have a friend who let me use his Peacock. And let me use his Peacock. That sounds funny. Like I'm gonna wear that bird out. But I watched the Chucky series, and it's really funny. I was never a big Child's Play head. I've only seen like the first couple episodes. I think they kind of lose the plot around episode 6, but they come back to it in a satisfying way.
Right.
And at one point, Chucky's killing people in a movie theater just by stabbing their asses.
Oh my God.
Like, it's hilarious. He's under their seats and he stabs up and takes the knife out, and then a bunch of blood comes out.
Yeah.
And then the person is just dead, as though your heart is in your ass. I love it. Like, if that was me and they stabbed me in my ass in a movie theater, I'd be like, ow. My ass. I wouldn't just die. I would stand up and be like, ow, 1 inch of a blade just went into my fat human ass. But
they'd stand up and panic at least.
It's really funny though. The fact that they tie in all the new child, like the most recent, like the Bride of Chucky and all the Jennifer Tilly stuff is in there. Which I'm not as much of a fan of that as I am of the idea. Like, there's not enough Chucky as the doll hamming it up sometimes, it seems like. But in general, I give a stamp of approval that if you watched Chucky season 1 and 2, by the time you're listening to this, they're getting close to the end of season 2.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because that'll be in November. So that's my recommendation. Watch Chucky. Brad Dourif does a great job as the voice of Chucky. Al, what should people watch, play, listen to?
Let me think. There's been a lot of good music lately. I would have to say Disc Doctors. It's this mix with G. Jones and EPROM. Very, very good. It's like kind of acid mixed with trap. It's a lot of like really good break beats too. Another recommendation, the She-Hulk episode that I saw this week, I would think is probably the best one of the season. The Retreat. Very solid.
So good.
It's just super laid back TV. Yeah, Tim Roth crushes it.
Tim Roth is so good. Yeah. I want to see, I tweeted this, but I want to see an Odd Couple remake where Keke Palmer plays like the uptight like guy and the dude we were just talking about.
Tim
Roth plays the Oscar, the slob. That would be just fuck. I don't know why that jumped into my head. It was probably because I just saw that Key TV ad where Keke Palmer is talking about her new TV, like this TV experience she's doing that looked really fucking interesting. But yeah, the great She-Hulk. I agree with you.
Right? Yeah, they're very solid episode. Beavis and Butthead ended. That was actually a pretty good note. I really like the what is it? The cutaway into the music video, the music videos that they had too. Yes. Those were solid.
They did a great.
Those were really good.
The last episode of this season of Beavis and Butthead was an actual half-hour full episode rather than two little stories. So they did a lot more of the music critique or the TikTok videos and shit they were watching.
My gosh, yeah, the one with the Big Macs.
Oh, they show. I actually went and got Big Macs for dinner after watching that because like. even though it's disgusting, I was like, I would like a plate of Big Macs. They got
ridiculous.
me. Yeah, that new Beavis and Butthead
pretty
kills.
solid.
Check it out, everybody. So like I said, I am Adam Quinnell on Twitter, and that's where you'll get all your Trek in the Valley news. There is a Trek in the Valley. If anybody listens to this, I'll make a Twitter account.
Yeah.
I need to know that at least 100 people have thought about listening to an episode before I'm going to make a Twitter account. We're taking this. We're doing baby steps.
Very slow, but we'll get there.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.
And I think my Twitter handle will be in the episode notes as well. So thank you.
Wait, before we go. Oh, sorry. What's next week's episode?
Ooh, next week's episode. I even had that written down. Good tease.
Yeah, yes.
We're gonna do a two-parter. The Menagerie. It's a very important. It's where they reuse the footage from the pilot. And they weave it in as like they're going to investigate what happened to Captain Pike.
What about the what is it? Should we do a doubleheader that day, or
we'll do it. We're gonna do a little bit longer episode. I think I'm making the call,
or make it all.
We'll just talk it all at once.
Okay, for sure.
Because I don't think anybody wants to hear us.
We
talk
don't
about the Menagerie for two episodes.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you're watching along, watch both episodes of the Menagerie for next week.
Yeah, because we'll mash them all in one episode. So
yeah. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much again.
You can find out any information about our podcast by following me, Adam, at Adam Quesnell. It's not how you pronounce it, it's how I say it for your benefit. ADAMQUESNELL on Twitter, or at FAQRulesU, at Instagram. Follow. I promote the show. You'll know when and where you can get it on more platforms, so it's on your platform of choice. Thank you so much, and reach out on either of those platforms if you want to tell us anything about the show. Also, I know that we're supposed to say this, like and subscribe, whatever that means. Thanks so much.